This country is just headed in the wrong direction in every single possible way, whether it be leadership, whether it be financial, whether it be social, however you want to look at it. And we're talking about financial things today and how do we protect our nest egg. But when you're headed in the wrong direction in every single possible way, your money's not going to hold up unless you do something about it.
This is the Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Kenneth Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Dina. Welcome to the Gold Standard, your source for secure investment opinion and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group. His peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. Ken, it is a pleasure to join you again this week.
Nice to talk to you today, Dave, as always.
Our topic today is Wall Street Vegas. And Ken, you have a reason for linking Wall Street with Vegas. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I worked on Wall Street for a while, and it's a lot of gambling, a lot of speculation, and that's all nice when it's working. But right now, it's not, and there's just too much leverage, too many people trading, not really understanding what they're doing. Brokers that promote different products because they're just trying to generate commissions, not really understanding really what's going on. So, now we're in an age of computer generated algorithms and that sort of thing. So we're really in kind of a new, but not really sort of Wall Street, but the volatility and the drops and rallies in these markets are just historical, and I would expect that to continue.
There was an article that I read this week that asked the question, the Fed raised interest rates. What do you do now with your retirement portfolio? And it answered the question by quoting the so-called conventional wisdom of some financial advisors who said, investors, and I'm quoting here, investors, as always, should steer clear of any major changes. Long-term investors should not make any major changes to their balanced portfolios based on the direction of interest rates or stock market volatility, but stick to their financial plan. Overall asset allocation should remain unchanged. In other words, let it ride.
Yeah,
Ken,
right.
there is a game on the floor of Las Vegas casinos called Let It Ride. It's a poker-style game, and everybody knows that all gambling games in Vegas favor the house. In fact, the longer you play, the more chance you have of losing, even losing everything that you may have won. I got to tell you, that is how I view Wall Street, especially when these guys are saying, let it ride.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think let it ride is really a good fundamental investment philosophy that's going to work over time at all. Everything's great when it's working, and how long have you and I, Dave, been talking about, this is a joyride, it can't continue, it's too high. If you're lucky enough to have wealth through trading or investing, or maybe you were just lucky, or maybe you inherited it, the least you can do is protect a portion of it. I mean, how many times over and over and over again? So you and I are not just coming in and saying, "Oh, see, the market's way down. It's too speculative." We've been saying this for a while.
Yeah.
We're in the everything bubble. We are in the mother of all bubbles, and that bubble is bursting. And for some people, that's going to take it all. Their financial wealth is going to disappear. And when we're talking about our savings, our nest egg, our retirement accounts, let it ride, Dave, is not a option. Maybe it's good for Wall Street to keep generating fees. Maybe it's good for the banking cartel to keep people invested at the bank in CDs and annuities. But when it comes to your retirement account and your savings, let it ride is unacceptable.
A reminder here you're listening to the Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today our topic is Wall Street Vegas. And Ken, we have seen stocks lose value, which means that people have lost money. And I want to underline that. They have lost money. Their investments are worth far less. How does that compare then to the value of gold over the same period?
Well, let's give credit where credit's due. I mean, the Fed inflated the stock market over the last 15 years for sure. So a lot of money was made there, fake money, but it was still made. So what goes up will eventually come down, and that's pretty basic, pretty
Mm-hmm.
realistic,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what gold's about. It's about being realistic. I think $5 trillion in stock value has been lost so far in 2022, Dave, and $1 trillion of crypto value in 2022 has been lost. And gold has held its value.
Mm.
I mean, that's what it does during financial crisis. Um, this could also be the calm before the storm for gold. I mean, there's pretty good evidence here that it's just been resting for the last year and a half, pretty much trading between 1800 and 1900 on a pretty consistent basis. Pretty good evidence here technically that it has a pretty good chance of turning up and going on a big run. So this could be the calm before the storm with gold. But during financial volatility and during financial crisis and stock market crashes, which we've covered before, say like in the 1929 crash,
Mm-hmm.
the roaring 50s crash, and even the dot-com crash of 2000, if you put your money or some of it into gold at that time, you had a much better chance of holding on to most of your value. And isn't that what it's all about today? Not so much about how much I could make or the return on my money, but the return of my money. And that's very important. And that's the job that gold does.
There are several ways to invest in physical gold. One way is by transferring funds from an IRA or an old 401k tax-free, and I want to underline tax-free, to a gold IRA. You do this every day for investors, don't you?
Yeah, we do, Dave. And, the retirement accounts are a large portion of what people have their nest egg and, invested in. Sometimes it's taken, many, many years and decades to build it up. And you don't want to lose it all or lose most of it when the stock market starts to go on the other side of the ski slope. The going up the ski slope is great. Everything's going up. Everybody's a great trader. Everybody's making so much money. Boy, this is easy. I'm going to quit my job. And then all of a sudden, it comes to a point where, there's no more buyers. Money starts to dry up. There's not a lot of free money out there anymore. And then all of a sudden, we start to go down. And when we start to go down, it goes down quickly. So when you're talking about a retirement account, maybe you don't have 20 or 30 years to wait for the next cycle to play out. Don't forget in 1929, when we crashed, it took about 25 years for the market to come back to that point. When we crashed off of the peak of the roaring 50s in around 1965, it took about 30 years to make a new high back in 1995. And when we crashed in 2000 during the dot-com crash for stocks, it took 15 years to come back, to reach that point. So not everybody has the stomach, the wallet, or the time to go through that next period. And I got to be honest with you, it looks like we just started 6 months ago or so. The next period of a huge bubble, it's burst. The Fed is deflating the bubble that they inflated. Now the question is I hope it comes back. I hope it's not too long. I hope that my money is going to be there when I need it. Well, for gold investors and for Midas Gold Group, hope is not a successful way to invest, Dave. So if you're not willing to speculate with 100% of your money in the paper markets, and you don't want to rely on hoping that my portfolio hangs in there or hoping that there's something left for myself or my grandkids, that's someone who deserves to diversify, someone who should learn about the different ways to own gold. And that's where gold and Midas Gold Group comes in.
You also sell physical gold that your clients can safely store themselves privately, right?
Well, yeah, and that's important in this day and age, getting some money out of the markets, getting some money out of the financial system. The financial system is failing. as we know it. Any civilization, any nation that has printed money and has allowed debts to get to such high levels, that currency, fiat currency, has failed. The intrinsic value of fiat currency, according to Voltaire, is zero.
Mm.
So the more and more and more and more that they print, the more and more supply of it that's out there, the less it's worth. I mean, that's just basic economics. So, for those people, once again, that are not willing to risk everything that they've worked hard for to try to do the right thing, those that are not willing to speculate with 100% and gamble, with 100% of their money on speculative stocks or speculative different types of investments, physical gold in your own possession, which is the only way that we would recommend it. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Physical gold is a way that you can safely diversify and hedge your bets so that you can get through this next financial crisis, which is here. And there's also a serious possibility of a big return and a higher price in the price of gold. So safety right now is in order, defense is in order, diversification is order. This country is just headed in the wrong direction in every single possible way, whether it be leadership, whether it be financial, whether it be social, however you want to look at it. And we're talking about financial things today and how do we protect our nest egg. I don't mean to demean those other things. They're very, very important. But when you're headed in the wrong direction in every single possible way, I mean, your money's not going to hold up unless you do something about it. And gold has been historically a very good thing to do when you're thinking about doing something about it. So I would recommend people try and do that today. Give us a call and learn the different ways you can protect your nest egg, make it more bulletproof with physical, not paper, physical gold, silver, and other precious metals.
You're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today our topic is Wall Street Vegas. And in a moment, we're going to look at a specific precious metal that you can use to safeguard your wealth, and that's coming up right after this.
Consumer prices surged 8.5% in March, and wholesale inflation surged 11.4%, an even more ominous trend. Sebastian Gorka here. The markets recently reacted to runaway inflation and drastic measures by the Fed by dropping up to 1,000 points in a day. That's your investment security being flushed, which is why I recommend diversifying with physical gold from Midas Gold Group. Gold traditionally holds its value when the dollar falls and economies fail. Don't wait until inflation steals your savings or liberal policies damage financial markets even further. Diversify your investments today with physical gold and precious metals with the only company I recommend, Midas Gold Group. Log on MidasGoldGroup.com, then call them at 855-322-GOLD. 855-322-GOLD. Even if the Fed slows inflation, what will it do to the market? The signs are not good. Call Midas Gold Group, 855-322-GOLD. It's gold you can hold.
And we're back with more of The Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino. Our topic today is Wall Street Vegas. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, we encourage you to visit our local office and meet with us in person. We'd love that. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, you can call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Ken, we now turn our attention to looking at a specific gold product. Today, the gold Australian kangaroo. We don't mention it very much, but it's a very interesting gold coin, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And frequently we get calls all the time and say, oh, well, I'm not sure what kind of gold to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's why you need some information. And it's always good to have some diversified different products in your precious metals portfolio that may be bullion, it may be numismatic coins, it may be proof coins. But this particular coin is called a bullion coin because it's based on its weight and its purity.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 0.99 1999 pure gold coin, minted by the Perth Mint. It used to be called the Australian gold nugget. So the kangaroo and the gold nugget are one and the same. These coins are created in denominations of a 20th of an ounce, a 10th of an ounce, quarter ounce, half ounce, 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 10 ounce, kilogram. But the most common is 1 ounce. I haven't seen too many of the fractional kangaroos at all, or the fractional nuggets recently. As you know, some products are just getting very, very hard to get. Understand, folks, when gold starts to go up because of everything that's going on with inflation and interest rates, there's not going to be enough to go around. So, you just can't print this stuff out of thin air. So it's an opportunity now to get some while you can. So these coins, Dave, they hold legal tender status in Australia and are one of the few select legal tender bullion coins to change their design every year, meaning that, the kangaroo on the back will be a little bit different each year. Due to this and their limited annual mintage, they may, unlike many other bullion coins, actually rise in their numismatic value. They could have some intrinsic value, versus just the weight of the gold or the value of the gold or the purity of the gold. So it's a very unique coin. I know clients like it, and I would urge people to consider it at this point, the gold Australian kangaroo.
You mentioned that it's sometimes called the Australian gold nugget. Why is that?
Well, until 1989, the coin, mainly the 1 ounce coins, they simply featured various pictures, Dave, of gold nuggets, in raw, unrefined form. They're actually really cool. We actually see some every once in a while as investors, for some reason may have to sell gold. People die, people inherit gold. Sometimes an emergency comes up or an unexpected bill, and Midas Gold Group buys gold every day too. We do see them. Now, the first strike of these coins to display different kangaroos was seen on the Proof Coin edition in 1989. So as we all know, the kangaroo is a world-recognized symbol of Australia. This is why the design change has led to the coins now being called and referred to as the gold Australian kangaroos versus, the gold Australian nuggets.
You've given us a pretty good word picture. Anything else you'd like to describe about the coin?
Well, I mean, it's very Australian, if you've thought of Australian, what would you think of? The outdoors, kangaroos, unique fauna, gold. On the reverse side, it features the kangaroo along with Perth Mint's traditional P mark. And the Perth Mint's a real good mint. I like it a lot. On the obverse, the head side of the coin, we have the image of Queen Elizabeth II, along with the inscriptions of the face value and the purity of the coin. So, it's a quality coin. All of the products by Perth Mint are very quality coins, and the gold kangaroo is expected, and it's undervalued. We believe that you can get it at a good price. We do expect the value of gold and the value of the kangaroo to appreciate pretty dramatically over the next 5 years.
And you have these available?
Yeah, if not, we could order them. Stuff moves in and out. Everything that we do is in brilliant uncirculated condition, mint condition. We can't always guarantee the year, Dave, but as product moves in and out, we have it available readily. If not, we can order them directly from the mint, like all the other products, either bars or coins. And like I said, at this particular moment, gold is still available. So folks out there, you still have an opportunity to pull some money out of the stock market. You still have an opportunity to pull some money out of the bank. And you still have a chance to own a great gold product this week, a great gold product being the gold Australian kangaroo.
I got to tell you, I'm intrigued by this coin. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to continue talking about Wall Street Vegas with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and that's coming up right after this.
Consumer prices surged 8.5% in March. Wholesale inflation surged 11.4%. Sebastian Gorka here. The markets recently reacted to runaway inflation and drastic measures by the Fed by dropping up to 1,000 points in a day, which is why I recommend diversifying with physical gold from the only company I trust, Midas Gold Group. Call Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-GOLD. It's gold you can hold.
And we're back with more of the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino. Our topic today is Wall Street Vegas. And if you live in the Los Angeles or the Phoenix area, you can actually visit our local office to meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. And for those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Now let's get back to our topic of Wall Street Vegas. Ken, the stock market has seen some horrendous drops in values, with several days dropping more than 1,000 points. The Dow hit its peak of over 37,000 back in November, and since then it seems like it's been 3 steps back and only 2 steps forward. So we now have a market that is worth far less than what we saw just 6 months ago. Is it too late to move investment funds or cash into, let's say, a gold IRA? Is it too late? Have we waited too long?
Well, it's definitely not too late to move cash. Says it's still there, so we may as well move it while it's still there, and it's not disappeared yet, or no one's taken it. So that would be a great opportunity to get cash moving for sure. We can still put in rollover requests and transfer requests for IRAs and old 401ks and other types of accounts. And gold is still affordable. Gold is still a good value. I think gold is as cheap as it is today, even $1,800 or $1,900 per ounce as when it was at $40 an ounce back in the early 70s. So, you should still have some value in your accounts for sure. It's been a huge run the last 15 years. We're just about 3 to 6 months into this, implosion, but we have started. We will bounce from time to time, and those bounces will be, severe and drastic. But there's definitely time to diversify, definitely time to call us, definitely time to give your stockbroker or your mutual fund company a call and ask them for transfer or rollover documents. There's still time to protect your nest egg and not to see it all disappear. There's still time to diversify with gold. And
this is a process that you can help our listeners with, right?
Well, that's what we do. We're specialists when it comes to precious metals. We're not financial advisors. We don't give financial advice. But for those who are worried about the financial future of themselves and this country and the financial system, there's still time to do something about it. And the best time to buy gold was 20 years ago. And if you didn't do that, the second best time was yesterday. And if you didn't do that, today is a real good option too. There's no excuse. The writing is on the wall. You just can't go down with the ship. This ship is going down in every way. And we don't have to lose all of our money while that ship goes down. We can do something about it.
And it's guidance like that as to why I actually own gold from Midas Gold Group. Ken, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Dave.
That is going to bring us to the end of our time together here on the Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. A reminder, opinions given here are not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD, by the numbers 855-322-4653. And the website is MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. The Midas Gold Group is proud to be America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So, and I love telling you this, your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. Ken, thank you so much for your time again today.
Yes, I enjoyed our talk as always, Dave. Have yourself a beautiful day.
I wish we had a full hour. There's always more to discuss. I'm Dave Dino, so come back and join us again next week at this same time for another edition of The Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.